And my heart goes boom, boom, boom. And my heart goes boom, boom, boom. Hey!
I'm Beverly Nielsen. Welcome to the Booom Business Programme. I'm delighted to be with Tony McEwan this evening. Tony is Managing Director of Residential Lettings Group based here in Birmingham. Tony, you're very welcome to join us this evening, to be with us this evening. Now, Tony, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would end up as Managing Director of a residential and commercial lettings group?
I didn't know.
No.
Not in a million years.
Oh, really? So this sort of all has come as a bit of a surprise, admittedly. Now you've been running this business for how long?
I've been running this residential lettings for 10 years and I've been doing lettings for 20 years.
Lettings for 20 years.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your background? Where did you grow up in Birmingham?
Born and bred in Birmingham. Left school and I had a job in the jewellers as a diamond cutter.
Yes.
Done that for 2 years and then I went and worked on the bullring market for 12 years.
Right. What do you think you've got out of working in the market? I mean, that must have been an extraordinary time. What years are we in now?
I was running this is like in 84.
Oh, right.
So I was running 7 retail stores for somebody.
Really?
I had like 2 in the rag market, 2 on the bullring oak market,
Right.
1 at Wolverhampton and 1 at Bilston.
Oh, wow. That's quite a job. What age were you at this point?
I was 21 when I first
21,
started.
running 7 stores.
Yeah.
And what kind of stock turnover were you seeing at this point?
Each store was taking probably around about, could be £1,000 a day each store. Up to Christmas time would be like £2,000.
Really? That's
obviously the bullring market,
fantastic.
we used to have like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 60,000 people used to come down there every year. And
Amazing.
I always said market is a learning curve for everything because
Yeah.
it's retail, you learn to retail.
Yeah.
I sell t-shirts, boxer shorts, thermal, sports shirts, short sleeve shirts, socks, underwear. So there's a variety of stuff we used to sell.
Yeah.
And obviously you used to always get people coming down the markets and you're buying the clothes off you and the fruit and veg and that. So it was a good environment really. I enjoyed it. It was like a good...
A very good learning curve, obviously becoming a great salesperson in the process, clearly, and sort of learning and getting great insights into people and their lives. And then what is it that sort of prompted then the move into the lettings business?
Well, then the market's got run down. Obviously, they want to redevelop it, and they're sort of shrinking it down. Then obviously all these big stores come along with all these cheap garments that they're selling. So obviously it killed off the market store really. And then I went into building. I used to work for this company doing their shop fittings. I worked at East Ham, Shoreditch, Paddington.
Right.
And while I started working for him just as a labourer, and then obviously I bought myself a tipper truck, bought myself some tools, so then I come vital to him and his company.
So this was a whole change of direction from running 7 stores. You're now sort of actually involved in refurbing, is it properties?
We've refurbishing like supermarkets and
supermarkets,
betting shops for the big name betting shops and big supermarkets.
What kind of volumes of refurbs were you doing at this stage?
I was doing like floor laying, plastering. The walls, just doing total refurb of a shell. We'd get the shell and then we'd go in there and just refurbish it. And then obviously as I've gone along, learning more about the building and everything else, then obviously I started saving money and buying tipper truck, buying tools, so then I come viable to this company. I worked for them for about 2 years doing the same sort of thing. And then when somebody I knew asked me, I went to a shop that I knew somebody in there that owns a shop, and he said to me, we've just bought some houses, you do building, can you give me a quote on doing the refurb on them? So I went there to the houses, give them a price for it, that's happy with the prices, and I think I refurbed about 10, 15 houses for them over a period of a time.
Over what kind of period are we talking about?
6 weeks on each house I used to spend about 6 weeks doing each one. Get it ready to let for them, and then by the time I move out of there, they had it all let out.
So you were doing this refurbing for over a year or something?
For about 12 months I was doing it for them on the houses.
Yes.
And then one of them was going to get married, and he said to me, do you want to come, we haven't got no more houses, but do you want to come and work in the office? They had about 60 properties that they had under the management. So I went in there, and obviously within 18 months, I think I pulled in we had 160 properties wrapped around them.
Really?
So
He must have been thrilled that he'd asked you then.
Well,
at that
obviously,
point.
it's my personality. I can talk to people, I get to know them. Landlords
Yes.
was coming to us, and
Yes.
obviously the buy-to-let was just taken off at the time as well.
Yes,
So this was back in '89.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about this, because this legislation, buy-to-let legislation, was absolutely crucial, changed the market
But it
completely,
changed the market. It
didn't
means
it?
that as a landlord, you can
Yeah.
the mortgage company would lend you 80% loan to value or 85% loan to value.
Right.
So
To
you
buy a
put-
property to
buy
let,
a
whereas
property-
before that you couldn't
you
get a
couldn't do
loan
it.
on a property
No,
to let.
They wouldn't let you on a property to let.
No,
Then only
so-
for your first-time buyer or if for yourself to live in.
Yes.
Then obviously the buy-to-let come into it, and then they obviously invented the private sector for the rental market.
Absolutely. So how quickly did that change the market then? So prior to that there was no private buy-to-let, and that legislation came in, what, in the 90s?
It was late 90s.
Late
yeah,
90s. And then
98.
how do you think that changed the shape of the whole market, roughly?
Well, I think it changed the whole show because obviously a lot of investors then decided to put their money into bricks and mortar.
Yes,
They could see the
yes.
property market going up at the time, starting
Yeah.
to move up. So
Right.
everybody wanted to buy a property then. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted to be a landlord.
Yeah,
You know,
everybody piled in.
I think you've got something like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 6 million landlords now, I think, across the country.
Oh, they're
So
really phenomenal.
that's all happened over the last,
Sort of 20
years.
20 or so years,
20
yeah.
or so years.
How
So obviously
extraordinary.
your private landlords is bigger sector than any of the councils now. So
Yes,
you know,
yes.
it's
And can you give me you say 6 million private landlords, and councils would own what proportion
well,
of
I
the
think
market?
something like Birmingham City Council have got about 140,000 houses. Sandmark
Right.
Council have got 77,000 houses. I
And
think
what
they've
do
got
you reckon
over
are privately owned in the city in terms of let properties?
I think probably 75% of them are all on a buy-to-let.
Right,
Well,
right.
There's not many people that live there for themselves. It's always been investors buying them
So-
and then renting them out to students, professionals, or whoever's coming to Birmingham.
So you were working for another person when the buy-to-let legislation changed the market, liberalised the market,
That's
and
right.
could get. And obviously we saw the liberalisation of credit as well, a little
Yeah.
bit around that time. And so, at what point did you say, "Well, I've had enough of working for somebody else. I'm going to start my own thing"? Tell me the story how that happened then.
I worked
Tony.
for this company called Douglas Allen for 7 years.
Yes.
They bought a big portfolio of properties
Right.
as I was going along.
Yes.
You know, I think there was only about 100 houses I think they owned altogether.
Right.
And then you had the asylum contract. So they got into what you call the asylum contract
Oh,
at the
right.
time, where we
Right.
had all these influx of refugees and
Oh yes.
they had to get housed. So
Right.
they took part of their portfolio over across the road, opened an office up which they owned, and they'd done their asylum from there. And then they wanted to get rid of the professionals and the students. So they sold
Right.
it to another company. I was there for about a month for this other company, and I thought, hang on a minute, these are all my landlords, these are all my students, all my tenants,
Yeah.
and they're not performing properly.
Yeah.
So I'll give them notice within a month, and I went across the road and I rented an office out, and I called it Magna Carta Property Management.
All right.
And Magna Carta went from 0 properties up to about 120 properties in about 18 months, I think, something like that, 12 to
Right.
18 months.
So this was your first time working for yourself,
For myself,
running your own
yeah,
business.
running
And
my own.
who was in the business with you? Did you have many
Uh,
other staff?
There's just me, my youngest son, my oldest son, should I say?
Right.
My oldest son. He was
Yeah.
young at the time. But
Yeah.
my oldest son.
Yeah.
And we had a part-time girl that worked with us.
Right, right. And so
And-
how did things shape up after that?
I've done
then?
pretty well because
Yeah.
at the same time the asylum contract was going on,
Yeah.
the company who I used to work for, the person I was dealing with at the asylum contract, he lost his contract.
Right.
And then all the keys went back to them, but they said to the landlords, well, we don't do lettings anymore because
Right.
we only do asylum contracts.
Right, right.
So all the landlords went, well, what are we going to do with the keys? And then all of a sudden the landlords come straight over to me.
Right.
Within a week I had 60 keys
Right.
of 60 properties. So, and then 2 weeks after that, the person who had the asylum contract got a new contract.
All right. Yes.
So he phoned them up and they said, no, we've got no keys no more, Tony's got them all. So he phoned me
Okay.
up,
Yeah.
and then I gave him some of the properties, and then obviously I just carried on doing my lettings with, I knew quite a few students, College of Food I used to deal with,
Yes.
so I carried on dealing with the students, and I just built
Yes.
it up like that with the students and professionals.
All right, right. So the Magna Carta business, how long did that keep going then?
It's going for 4 years,
All right,
and then residential lettings come for sale.
right.
So
And you had some dealings with residential lettings prior to
prior to that,
yeah.
somebody said to me somebody's looking for a manager at residential lettings when I was working for the company called Douglas Allen.
Oh yeah, so this is back in what year now?
This is probably in about 2003.
2003, and you started the Magna Carta business in what year?
2006.
Oh right, okay, so back 3 years, that before you started your own business, you were working in Douglas Allen.
Douglas Allen.
Yeah.
And then I went for an interview with...
Earning roughly how much at the time?
I think at the time it was about £200 a week.
Right.
I was earning.
And you got called in for an interview?
For an interview with this residential lettings group, which is a well-known company. They had one in Sutton, one in Shirley, and they had the Edgbaston office up Five Ways. Probably the best office in Birmingham, realistically.
Yes.
Well-known company.
Yes.
Been going for, at the time, for about 15 years.
Right.
So I went for an interview, had an interview with him, and he offered me 30,000 a year plus a brand new BMW.
Yes. Not a bad offer for somebody earning a couple of £100.
It wasn't a bad offer. And
a week, was it, you were saying? Yes.
And then I said to him, well, I'm not very good on the internet and doing the paperwork.
Yeah.
He said, well, who does it at the moment? I said, my wife does.
Yes.
And he said, well, we'll have your wife as well, and we'll give her 20 grand a year. So we had a package between the two of us. Was
50,000.
50,000 with a brand new car.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let me think about it.
All right.
And then over the 2 days I thought about it, and I don't know why, just inkling, I thought the better the devil you know and the devil you don't know.
So you decided to turn down £50,000 and a new BMW and stick with the £200 a week.
Stick with the £200 a week.
And then fast forwarding to 2006 now, tell us what happens then. You've run your business for 2006 you set up your business, is that right?
I set up Magna Carta in 2004.
2004, right, yeah.
So after working for 7 years with this other company, I set up Magna Carta in 2004.
Yeah, you ran that business for
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years, and then residential lettings come for sale.
Yes.
So I went and seen somebody come and see me again.
Yeah.
And said, residential lettings for sale, are you interested in it? So I went to them, had a meeting with them. Yeah. And then I took over residential lettings in 2006.
Right.
The Sutton office, the Shirley office, and the Edgbaston office.
Right. And so from that point, 2006 to today, 2015, tell us. We've not got very long now, so tell us how you've grown the business.
I've grown the business quite well, because what I've done then, I turned my Magna Carta in Bearwood office, I turned that into residential lettings.
Right, yes.
So then I opened up another one on Digbeth, because I'm thinking like the redevelopment around Digbeth's supposed to be happening, and there's going to be a lot of apartments around there. And on the canal side I opened one there as well on Gas Street.
Right.
But then obviously Rightmove, Zoopla come in 2008.
Yes.
So you didn't need all these offices.
No.
So obviously I had a lease signed with them, so I had to sort of wait for the leases to run out, and then as the leases run out I give notice to the landlords, and just bought it into one office now. So I'm managing around about 400 properties all from this one office now, so I've cut all my overheads, cut a lot of staff wages. I had 15 staff at one time. So
it's a phenomenal story, really, and over what period of time? This is, what, 20 years
20
are we
years,
talking now?
20 years.
So over that 20-year period, from working in market stalls, refurbing properties, working for 6 years for somebody else in the lettings business, and then setting up your own business, you now run residential lettings.
That's right.
The most prestigious brand.
It is a very good company. It's got a well-known in Birmingham.
With your own staff, your own business.
Well, my wife works for me.
Yes.
My 3 children work for me.
Really?
Yeah, because they're all grown up now. Obviously, my youngest is 22 and my oldest is 32.
Well, it's obviously a phenomenal success. You employ your family.
That's right.
You own your own business, and you're responsible for 400 properties in the city. You've seen phenomenal change during that time.
I've seen loads of changes.
And I know that we could have an additional conversation about what people tell you about how they find Birmingham when they come here.
There's that many different aspects to lettings, I suppose, as well. What people don't realise, it's lettings is, it's not just letting a property out and that's it, forgetting about it. You've got to manage it, you've got to make sure the tenants are okay, there's all the health and safety regulations, you've got to make sure they're all put into place. Make sure, obviously tenant can phone you and say, oh, my lights have gone off, I've got no electric, and you say to them, well, if you can have it by the fuse board, oh, where's the fuse board? You say, you got some switches there, have a look, where is it? Over there. Is one of them down? Yeah, press it up. They flick it up and they go, oh yeah, thank you very much. And then
so you're always at the end of a line, always at the end of a line.
All the emergency calls come through to me, because then I make a decision then if I need to send somebody out there, Or sometimes it's just the boiler, the pressure's gone down in the boiler, they've got no heating.
Yeah.
As before, you send a gasman out there, go to an engineer and go to a maintenance company. They used to go out there, put the pressure on the boiler, press the reset button and charge you £65 call out charge. So to save all that, I asked the tenant to say, is the pressure down the boiler? They say, yes it is. I say, they've got a filling loom underneath you, open that valve up to 1.5, press the reset button. Oh, thank you very much, Tony.
I have to say, I think the landlords are extremely lucky to have you, and equally the tenants.
And my heart goes boom, boom, boom. And my heart goes boom, boom, boom. Hey! I kinda like you. And my heart goes boom, boom, boom. And my heart goes boom, boom, boom. Hey!
Welcome back. I'm talking to Tony McEwan, Managing Director of Residential Lettings Group. Tony, it's fantastic to have the chance to continue talking to you. Now, we've been hearing about how you built your business, Residential Lettings. You've been running it now for 20 years, your business, pretty much 20 years in Birmingham. You were telling me earlier how you employ your entire family.
That's right.
And that's a
I
great
don't know if that's a good thing or a
achievement.
bad thing.
I think that's a fantastic achievement. I'm sure everybody would agree with me. It's an amazing achievement. And over that best part of 20 years that you've been running Residential Lettings Group here in Birmingham, what are the key changes that you've seen? Could you give me some insights into the change in the property market?
I've seen a lot of changes, obviously, from when I first started. It was like what you call bed-sit lands. There's just like Victorian houses, and people used to have a room in a house with a little cooker in there.
Yes.
And it's what we call a bed-sit.
Yes.
And obviously in 2001, 2, 3, 4, up to 2008, we had this vast amount of property being built in Birmingham city centre. And obviously all these new landlords that's coming on board, everybody wanted to be a landlord. You know, most landlords you speak to, they've got 2 or 3 properties now. Some of them, I've known some landlords have got 100 properties. You know, that's how vast all the buy-to-let's gone across the country. And obviously with all the new development in Birmingham city centre, how it's changed, the canals, Brindley Place, all the apartments that have been built in the city centre. So what it's done now is changed the aspect of the city completely different.
Yeah.
And when I first started doing this, like students come from London, I used to say to them, like in the car talking to them, and say to them, what you do when you graduated? Are you going to stay in Birmingham? You're going to go home? And they all used to say, no, I'm going to go home. Now I find now if I ask the same question now, most of them will jolly and say, no, I'm staying in Birmingham.
Oh, that's marvellous,
so
isn't
Birmingham's
it?
changed completely over the last 20 to 30 years. It's changed completely.
You said that the nature of the properties had changed from bed-sits to apartments, and the quality of the offer, has that gone up?
Yeah, the quality's gone up. Obviously, you know, you get a lounge and kitchen together, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on some of these apartments.
Yes.
So as before, if like a bed sit, all you had was a room in a house with a cooker in there, and you'd have to come out your room to go to the toilet or go to the bathroom.
Yes.
And you could have like 5 individuals live in a house in what you call a bed sit.
Yes.
So that's why it's changed completely in that aspect, because there's more properties come available now because of the buy-to-let. So the quality of properties, standards have gone up compared to what there was 30 years ago. And I mean, even myself, I was born in a 2-bedroom terrace with outside toilets and
no.
a tin bath, so
tin bath.
that's how it's changed from then, obviously.
Yeah.
So
you were telling me that your clients, when you meet the clients, they will sort of be maybe looking for some property and, as you say, anxious to leave Birmingham, you were saying. But tell me a little bit about how people perceive Birmingham.
Obviously I get some clients that the daughter will come here and the mum will say to her, what do you want to go to Birmingham for? Oh no, you won't like it there. She's never been to Birmingham, hasn't. And then 3 days later I met her mum at the property, I went there, and her mum said to me, I'm sorry, Tone, for what I said. She said, Birmingham's lovely, I don't want to go home.
Yeah.
She said, I've had some investors come from London, they come here for a day, I sold them some apartments, and then 4 days later I see them on Broad Street, and I said, how come you lot are still here? And they said, Tone, we don't want to go home. I think what it is with London, I got a dentist that lives on Canal Wharf, and he jumps on that train every morning. He said, Tone, it takes me an hour and 10 minutes to get to London, it takes me an hour and 10 minutes to get back to Birmingham. He said, look what I got round me.
Yeah.
I've got the mailbox, the canals, the cost of living is a lot cheaper. He said, when I was in London, he said, it took me 2 hours tubing it here, tubing it there. And obviously with London, your favourite restaurants over there, your theatres over there. With Birmingham, everything's on your doorstep. Cost of living's much cheaper. So we're finding out a lot of people are starting to move into Birmingham.
Right.
And I heard we had, like reading the Times, we had 65,000 Londoners moved to Birmingham last year.
That's amazing, isn't it? And as you say, 1 hour 10 away from London. Of course, we've got HS2 development on the way over the next few years. That's really going to transform things,
it's going to even make it more advanced, and a lot more people will be coming to Birmingham. They reckon now even the buses, I've noticed, they're all turning red.
Yes.
So what they're saying is like Birmingham's coming what they call Little London.
So I don't know that I like that especially, but I take the point. And do you think that's going to drive up the prices in Birmingham, this proximity, increasing closeness in terms of time?
Obviously we had the recession coming. I mean, for a 1-bedroom apartment in 2006 and 2004 in the city centre would cost you around about 159,000. And then when the crash came in 2008, Crosby had about 2,000 apartments that they had ready that was just sitting there empty, not sold.
Really?
And they sold them all off for 85,000.
Oh my goodness! And what was the full price?
159 when they originally started. 59.
Wow.
And now, at the moment, since 2008, the same sort of apartments have sold between 110, 120, 130. Recently, I just agreed to sell 3 months ago for 135.
So they're nearing the pre-crash.
But then I've seen an advert in Dixon's, had an advert in the paper that somebody texted me saying a 1-bedroom apartment in the Ryan building, which was 159, it was up for 155. They said they received an offer for 165. Does anybody want to make a higher offer?
Oh my goodness.
So we are near enough back to where we was in 2007.
And do you think these are sustainable prices? How do you feel about that then?
I think, myself personally, with the way it's going at the moment, I reckon it's going to double again between now and 2020.
Gosh, so this is, you've heard it here, Boom Business Programme. We're going to see prices doubling between now and 2020.
2020.
So 5 year time.
5 years time. We can see the difference since election's been over. The property market, as you say, I was selling it for 120, and now it's gone for like 140, the same property, in a matter of what, it's only been 3 months?
Yes.
I can remember looking at Bathrow last year for a 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. There's quite a few advertised for 110, 115. For them same properties now, they're asking for 160. Which what there was originally in 2007 when they built the Bathrow.
Okay, so we hear a lot as well about shortage of properties, don't we, across the country?
Vast amount of shortage of properties in Birmingham.
And especially here in Birmingham. So do you see any opportunity for us to solve this, really desperate at times, housing shortage?
Well, at the moment, we've got, obviously we've got the bottom of Broad Street, they're spending £200 million. They're spending £200 million over Curzon Street. Seven Capital, this other company, they're building about 2,000 apartments. But the things what's happening is these apartments won't be ready till about another 3 years' time. So what's going to happen then, you can have oversupply because all these properties are all being ready at the same time. So you can have a vast of, say, 6,000 apartments ready at the same time. So between now and 3 years' time, there is a shortage. And if you advertise a 1-bedroom property in the city centre, you'll have about 10, 15 clients after that same property.
Right.
I've even got it now where if you put the rent on for 700, I went and done a viewing about 4 months ago, and I got 4 people there looking at this one property, and one of the clients said to me, what happens if I go and put an offer in at 725? Will I get the property? I said, well, it's not up to me, it's up to the landlord. I said, if you phone up the office, put your offer forward, and the landlord will accept your offer, then it's your property. Literally, he just left me, he phoned the office up straight away, said, well, I'll put an offer in for 725, and now he's living in that property at this present moment at 725, where the rent was only 700, he was offering more himself, you know, just so he could get the apartment, thinking if he offered, it's like consumping in sales, where they used to consump each other, put our offer in. Yeah. The same thing's happening with lettings now. Yeah. A 1-bedroom property on Berkeley Court, which is just off Broad Street. We've always got 650 for it. Yes. Then we got 700 for it. It come available last month, and we put it on the market for £800, and we had somebody snap it up within 2 days at £800 a month.
So do you see any way of solving this shortage that we've got? I mean, we're going to have, as you say, maybe, I don't know if glut's the right word, but we're going to have these 6,000 apartments coming on the market in 3 years' time. Is there any way of solving the problem in a reasonable, sustainable way? And what about young people as well?
Well, the young people today have got no chance. We ain't going to stay in it now because at the moment people have only just started building again. Right. So you've got to wait for these developments to get built. Yes, yes. Like in 2008, there was something like 6,000 empty apartments in Birmingham city centre. Right. Tenants could walk up to an agent or a landlord and say, it's gone on for 600, I'll give you 500. A landlord would say yes and accept it, because he knew that tenant could just walk next door and there'd be an empty property there, and next development there'd be an empty property. There's that many empty properties. Yes. So a tenant was just putting offers in. There's moving to a brand new property for £500 a month with a brand new furniture pack. So it was, the tenant had more choice. Yes. But now it's turned completely different, because obviously now the city's full again from 2008. Yes. All these empty apartments are all full, and we're still getting that many vast many people coming to Birmingham. Yes. So it's creating a shortage of properties again.
And do you think we have reasonable development plans that are coordinated across the area, you know, perhaps across the West Midlands, to cope with these kind of shortages that you're speaking about?
Well, I heard like 65,000 Londoners moved to Birmingham. Obviously we've got the HSBC moving to Birmingham. They're going to put their headquarters here. So there's a lot of investments going on in Birmingham, but it's not going. It'll happen long term, but it's not going to help the short term at the moment. Because the rents are going up at the moment very high, and what it is, tenants can't find anywhere to live, because what it is now as well, tenants are staying longer. One time they used to move around every 6 months, do 6 months in this development, 6 months in that development. But what you're finding now, tenants are staying longer now. They're treating it as their home. Yes. And a lot of tenants now are making the properties better than what it was when they got it off the landlord. Because they're improving the properties. Because they feel, well, this is my home now, I'm not going to move out now, and they're getting contented and staying where they are. And obviously if they do move out, then they find that, you know, when they start looking around, the rents are higher for where they're staying now, so they can't find anything as cheap as what it was.
So I suppose really, in the end of the day, what this means is this is sort of full for the next 3 years in Birmingham, in sort of perhaps Greater Birmingham. The market will shift out a bit further, I suppose.
But even people, you know, I've got properties in Bearwood, Sutton Coldfield, Shirley, even Tamworth. I've got some properties, Birmingham city centre. So I've got a vast majority of properties scattered all over Birmingham areas where there's still not enough stock out there. As soon as something comes in Solihull, you'll rent it straight away. As soon as it comes up in Edgbaston, somewhere in Harborne, within 2 weeks it's rented out. Yeah. And my list now, I mean, I heard from somebody the other day, on Bearwood Road there's 18 letting agents on there. And somebody's telling me between the 18 of them, they've only got about 10 properties between the lot of them.
Good grief.
There's nothing to let.
No. Do you think consolidation is on the cards in your sector then?
What do you mean by solid?
A consolidation of the, you know, you're talking about a number of lettings agencies. Is it likely that, you know, in order, because of the lack of properties and obviously dominant players, that perhaps there'll be some...
Well, there is big companies now. I mean, like you're getting Dixons, Taylors, Connells. They're all trying to buy up little agents across, so they can build that portfolio up themselves. There's a company called Capital. Yes. They've just come to Birmingham. I was reading on those, and they've bought something like 2,000 properties. They come from Scotland, and they've come across to Birmingham. Yes. And what they've been doing is buying up portfolios, and they've been buying up smaller agents to make their portfolio bigger. Right. And same as with Connells, Shipways, all your big companies like Dixons. Now they're all doing lettings. At one time, none of them wanted to do lettings, did they? You know. But now you find that all these estate agents are all starting to do lettings now. Yes. Because obviously if the sales go down and then they've got no money coming in, they've got no income because no sales are going through. So they're all trying to get into lettings now. At least then they've got a client bank, they've got a regular income coming in.
Do you think can you give us a little bit of an idea as who are the dominant players, and do you see the market sort of contracting down to a number of even more dominant
What's
people?
happening now, you're getting people like the Countrywide and the big estate agents, Dixons and all the big players that we say in a estate agency, but now they've all got into lettings. And obviously when the crash come in 2008, they weren't doing no sales 2009, 10, 11, 12, so they wasn't selling anything. So obviously, so what they've done then, they thought diverse it and we'll go into lettings. So now a lot of the big Countrywide and Dixons and that, they're all buying up little agents and trying to get as many portfolio as they can. They could go around to all their agents, they send letters out to all the agents saying, do you want to sell your portfolio of properties? I've known quite a few companies that have sold out to what we call the big boys, Countrywide or Dixons or Tailors or even, what's it called, I can't remember what it's called now. Shipways, sorry, Shipways, even them. Yeah. So all the big boys, which are countrywide, what they've been concentrating over the last, what should I say, 10 years, is buying up letting agents to try and build a big portfolio for themselves. So obviously, if they're managing, should we say, 4,000 properties, they've got an income coming in, a regular income coming in. So if the sales do drop off, which it will do, we've all seen it go up, come down, go up, come down over the years. So that's probably why what they're trying to do now is, so they've got some sort of income coming in. That's why they're trying to buy up all the small agents.
Thank you very much for talking with us today and for sharing something of your life story in business. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much, Tony. Real pleasure. Thank you.
So I thought I needed Booom. Thought I needed Booom.
Thank you very much. Champions League promoted back. Just want to say thank you to everyone involved tonight. Absolute pleasure to win this.
Didn't think I was going to win this award, so thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, people, what are you saying? Are we good? Yeah. Kingside.
Grandad, would you like a cup of coffee?
As long as it's Blue Mountain Coffee.
Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee, one of the best coffees in the world.
Come aboard the Desi Express and experience express food, express service, and express taste without compromise on quality. Let Desi Express take you on a mouth-watering journey through the assortment of lamb nihari, lohari charga, steak, malajit burger, and masala fish. And don't forget our vast array of quality desserts, including our famous Faluda milkshake. So if you want express service and mouth-watering Desi food, come down and grab a ticket. And remember, if you miss it, you miss out.
And so ID8 as a business is built on the vast experience of people who have spent many years with success and looking at how their lives have been successful and going through the difficulties and the challenges of what success means.
I think we recognise a lot of things in sport nowadays that we never recognised back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, I left home at 15. Wasn't even a Durham County Schools player. At 17 I'm playing for Aston Villa first team, so it was a massive change in my life, you know, and then I have this roller coaster ride of good days, bad days, and seeing lots of friends of mine who were expected to do well, who failed, and a lot of it is we recognise now not just talent, it's mentality as well that can be a problem for people. So I think all the things that I've seen in the game, in my game that is, and all the people that I've met over the years, I think have given me a wide-ranging sort of experience of good and bad, but there are other reasons for it going wrong at times for people. And I, you know, despite me being here today and having had a fairly successful life, I mean, I've had periods where, you know, you're just sitting and thinking, well, who do I talk to? Where do I go? What do I do?
Well, what I decided, I saw my dad's career as a footballer. And I saw
as a legend.
Well, as a legend, and some of the ex-players, and I thought that they needed some sort of guidance, a one-stop shop where they could come to. So we've developed a business group where they are basically advised on what they want to do with their money, if they want to be able to progress in their career, maybe they want to do some coaching, or you know, a solicitor or an accountant maybe. We basically provide that for them, and they are issued with a mentor as well. So with the agency we've got current players on our books, and with the current players they've got the mentor and they're guided into life and educated. The numbers are quite startling. You know, you've got some players just go bankrupt. I mean, I think the figures are terrible. It's like,
really, is it that bad?
It's really that bad. After they finish the game, they're just bombed and they don't know what to do with their life. Life isn't over. They can still do things, and we want to be able to educate them and help them. And I think what we've got with the group of business people in ID8 is fantastic, and it's definitely going to help.
Well, I'm here just as in an advisory position. I mean, you know, I left home 1969, 50 years ago.
And where was home?
Up from the northeast, from Peterlee, County Durham, where I lived at that time. And, you know, I've basically experienced most things that most people would go through in sport, that is, you know, being an apprentice, signing professional, got injured and had to retire, then finding work. I actually worked in the club shop, you know, selling things behind the counter. I worked for a printing company, so I went out of football for a very short time but hated that, so I realised how important sport was to me. I then became a youth coach, became the youth coach of Aston Villa, went off and became a manager, and then came back as the manager of Aston Villa.
And a successful time.
Yeah, great time. And then you know, I've had left and been at other clubs where it hasn't gone so well for me, and now I'm back as in an advisory capacity.
Yeah, no, I joined ID8 because I find it's a great group of eclectic people, like-minded people who look after each other and look out for the clients, most importantly, and that's why I joined ID8. My specialty is film production and film financing, including television and everything which has to do with IP. And I bring basically creatives together with the investors, so in order to make sure that everybody's happy and everybody knows which direction they're going to.
I was invited by Stephen With, who I've met and done some work with in Vietnam and Thailand, and we wanted to develop that work between England, Thailand and Vietnam. I do immigration as one of the areas that we do, so it's about bringing people over here, but also trying to get the brands to Vietnam and Thailand and trying to develop brands that want to go out that way. So it's a two-way street really, and Brexit has kind of helped a little bit with that developing for the future. I think it'll go well because there's a lot of people that are very interested in doing it and working properly with people who've been abused a bit in the past by perhaps relationships with other professionals and have been left in the cold. So we can help them because personally, if anybody wants to see me, then and I do a number of areas, we'd see them for free, and then we'd talk to them about what charges would apply afterwards. So there's no everything is clear and upfront.
Well, how it started, me and Stephen quite a while ago, sort of were discussing former players. I've worked with former players before. I was Aston Villa Former Players Association photographer for about 8 years, so I really got to know them, got to know their needs, what they wanted, what they didn't want. But a lot of it was when they come up to retirement, what do they actually do? And quite often we found that agents would leave them as soon as they stopped earning money. So what do they do? So what we decided to do was find something for them. I mean, finances, do they get into debt? Are they investing correctly? Are they investing properly? Do they want to get back into coaching, which we can organise within the ID8 group? Sort of life skills as well. If they come out of football, they've been within an academy, sort of from the age of 13, 14, have they got a CV, that type of thing. It's actually life skills, preparing them for jobs, that type of thing. That's what we needed to do for former footballers.
Well, I know Steve. I grew up with Steve, and I know what Steve's all about. And no, it's been a lovely day, and nice to be associated with what Steve's doing and try and help him and support him and the guys that are doing a lot of good work. Young sports people need help. They need guidance, and any help and guidance which helps them to have a better career and a more prolonged and sustained and successful career is a good thing, definitely. And you know, they've got a lot of knowledge. They've got a lot of a lot of information to share with young players that's going to help them and guide them onto hopefully a successful path. It's an area that probably is under-resourced, and they've got the best interests of the players at heart, and the players would do far worse than to tap into the work that Steve and the lads are doing, and as you know, wealth of experience. People like Brian Little involved. You know, it's fantastic. They're good people, and yeah, lots of good stuff.
Okay, well, I'm an ex-professional footballer, football coach, student of the game. Currently working at Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. I've had a great season, but I work in the academy with the youngsters there. Really enjoying my time. Going to see where that path takes me, and currently looking at my options over the pre-season and the summer. There's not much that can fill the void that is left from, you know, leaving professional football. At least for my own personal circumstances anyway, and I'm pretty sure that the majority of footballers feel the same way. So what they will tend to go on to is obviously their family life, social life and things of that nature, but I think there's an element of unfulfillment that tends to linger around, obviously the day in, day out and the camaraderie of being around your teammates. That leaves a big gap to be filled, and luckily enough I've found a way to sort of fill that gap in my own sort of way. And I think other footballers should follow suit because they probably don't realise how much they do have to offer. What I didn't know during my time while I was playing football is that I actually do know the game, as anybody would, having played it 15 years. And to be able to pass that knowledge on to the youngsters, to test yourself amongst difficult youngsters, no disrespect, but there's loads of challenges now in the modern game, social media, what's going on in the economy, all sorts of things, and to challenge yourself in that environment and still try and get that message across on how to better yourself, not only as a footballer, as a person, is something which I felt, you know, very attached to and drawn to. So I'm going to see where this path takes me, but for the most part I'm enjoying it at the moment. I'm friends with Stephen With. His father used to coach me at Aston Villa, so I'm very much connected to the people involved within this, and obviously as friends we meet up, we chat, we do talk about the common problems that, you know, footballers or ex-footballers share, ex-sports people share, and the kind of help that should be or ideally would be around just to assist these players in, you know, deciding what they want to do or dealing with what's going on, whatever circumstance at the time. So in being Steve's friend, he's kind of, you know, he's gave me the whisper that he's involved in something that's really important, and having seen it and come along to a few events, I do see the importance of it, and I like to support it for, you know, as long as it's around.
We initially attended an event. We well know many people don't actually get their affairs in order, either until it's too late, or just unaware it's something they push back. So once we find out about the event and what they're trying to achieve, it's something I've always felt passionate about, being very much into football and knowing certain people. So yeah, that's what attracted me, explained what I felt we could do for them, and yeah, just seemed the right fit. There's definitely a gap, if not actually planning their affairs or for their loved ones to make sure things pass through smoothly. Unfortunately, if the inevitable does happen, but also then we've got the other aspect of potentially looking at, you know, how to reduce their estate in terms of tax planning side, and also we can help people on probate. So yeah, definitely a gap that people need to address, but they try to push back as long as they can.
So when we met with Steve With, who's the son of Peter With, a year ago, he explained to us what he wanted to set up, his vision for it, and what he wanted to achieve, which basically fitted in with the ethos of what we try and do with our clients that we see day to day, which is to service people in the right way for the longevity, not for the short term, but for the long term, and basically look after their interests. And that's what Steve wanted to achieve here with sports people, and it fitted in with what we already do. So basically we got together and we thought, right, well, let's work together on it, because we have seen footballers, for example, unfortunately pass away without having anything in place, which has left a bit of a mess for their loved ones. And again, in the media, we've seen a lot of things happen with footballers where people have taken advantage of them, and various other sports people, not just footballers. So certainly the group ID8 is a fantastic way to service these people coming from a trusted group. And obviously the group is also backed by people like Brian Little, Peter With, who have been in the professional industry themselves.
Traditionally I'm a youth worker. I run a children's charity in the inner city of Birmingham, and we're there to improve the lives of children and young people from disadvantaged communities. As part of that, we also run several businesses, one of which is an adventurous activity and team building company. So from the axe sewing that you've seen today, through to team dynamics, through to hosting and hospitality. The ID8 initiative started through a concept of Stephen growing up in a family of a professional football player who was well known, but going through all the challenges and then feeling the struggles of how where to get support from in terms of being in the public eye, and recognising that through Peter With and Brian Little, that there's a lot through for sports personalities, for celebrities. There's a real gap of where people can find that support to enable them to look at how, when they're leaving their dream, where they've got to create a new dream, how they've got to start a new lifestyle, about the support for them with their relationships, with their business concepts, with their future. And so it's how we can bring businesses together who are trusted, who can be discreet, who can be supportive, who can build relationships with those sports personalities and enable them to be able to move on to their journey after they've lived their dream. So not just in the sports world, but in terms of actors and musicians and anybody who has been in the limelight and then wants to look at how do they manage a life after that or aside from that. There's an awful lot of people who fit that criteria that can get involved with us as they get trusted in what we do. But certainly started out of football, and there's a huge amount of football players, whether they are retired through choice or through injury, or whether they're existing players and they want something extra that they're looking for and not finding, then it will grow exponentially because of the demand that there is for people who want that support to help them in their journey. Fantastic. I wish the golf was a bit better for me, but I got round without losing too many balls. So it's been a great day. It's been great to see some of the players come along and to start talking to us. As you know, we're all humans. We're all here to try and help and create a community of support that is trusted. And today's just shown that can be done in a fun and relaxed environment.
संग है गुजारिश कह दे तू हाँ तो जिंदगी छलनों से छूट के हंसेगी मोती होंगे मोती राहों में ये तू मेरी अधूरी प्यास प्यास कैसा है जुनून कहीं मिले ना सुकून देखो कहीं भी करार आए कहीं भी करार आए दीवाना है कौन यहाँ बेगाना है कौन देखो जिंदगी बेकार जाए जिंदगी बेकार कोई भीड़ में खड़ा है कोई खुद में चल रहा है माई बोल बोल हारी यहाँ जो है बेसिरा है ये सातों आसमां हम इनके दरमियाँ ये सातों आसमां हम इनके दरमियाँ बिछड़ जाए ना ऐसा है जुनून कहीं मिले न सुकून देखो कहीं बेकरार आए दीवाना है कौन जहाँ बेगाना है कौन देखो जिंदगी बेकार जाए जिंदगी बेकार चलती चलती जाए एक आंधी जो आंधी भी नहीं मंजिल से कलाई कुछ बांधी और बांधी भी नहीं जहाँ रास्ते तेरे नीले नीले नैनों से शबनम पी लूं तेरे गीले गीले होठों की सरदम पी लूं है पीने का मौसम तेरे संग इश्क तारी है तेरे संग एक खुमारी है तेरे संग चैन भी मुझको तेरे संग बेकरारी है तेरे संग इश्क तारी है तेरे संग एक खुमारी है तेरे संग चैन भी मुझको तेरे संग बेकरारी है तेरे बिन जी नहीं लगता तेरे बिन जी नहीं सकता तुझ पे है हारे मैंने वारे दो जहां कुर्बान मेहरबान कहने दो कुर्बान सुन ले जरा तेरा कुर्बान होश में रहूं क्यों आज मैं तू मेरी बाहों में सिमटी है मुझ में समाई है यूं जिस तरह तू कोई हो नदी तू मेरे सीने में छुपती है सागर तुम्हारा मैं हूँ पी लूं तेरी धीमी धीमी लहरों की छम छम पी लूं तेरी सांधी सांधी सांसों को हरदम पी लूं है पीने का मौसम तेरे संग इश्क तारी है तेरे संग एक खुमारी है तेरे संग चैन भी मुझको तेरे संग बेकरारी है तेरे संग इश्क तारी है तेरे संग एक खुमारी है तेरे संग चैन भी मुझको तेरे संग बेकरारी है शाम को मिलूं जो मैं तुझे तो बुरा सुबह न जाने क्यों कुछ मान जाती है ये हर लम्हा हर घड़ी हर पहर ही तेरी यादों से तड़पा के मुझको जलाती है ये भी मैं धीरे धीरे जलने का ये गम पी लूं इन गोरे गोरे हाथों से हमदम पी लूं है पीने का मौसम तेरे संग इश्क तारी है तेरे संग एक खुमारी है तेरे संग चैन भी मुझको तेरे संग बेकरारी है तेरे संग इश्क तारी है तेरे संग एक खुमारी है तेरे संग चैन भी मुझको तेरे संग बेकरारी है तेरे बिन जी नहीं लगता तेरे बिन जी नहीं सकता तुझ पे है हारे मैंने वारे दो जहां रोशन है ये जमीन आसमान सब इश्क के दम से ढलते हैं दिन और रात इश्क के ही दम से
खुशियों के बेशुमार बेहिसाब से सिक्के खनके दिल की अब हर मुराद इश्क के ही दम से
तू है मेरा खुदा अब न होना जुदा कर दे करम के दिल ये चैन पाएगा मौला मौला रे शुक्र तेरा मौला रे मरू हुआ है मेरा यार हो मौला मौला रे शुक्र तेरा मौला रे मरू हुआ है मेरा लब से आँखों को मन्नतें पूरी तुमसे ही तू मिले जहाँ मेरा जहाँ है वहाँ रौनकें सारी तुमसे ही छू लिया तूने लब से आँखों को मन्नतें पूरी तुमसे ही तू मिले जहाँ मेरा जहाँ है वहाँ रौनकें सारी तुमसे ही पिया ओ रे पिया पिया रे पिया रे पिया पिया ओ रे पिया पिया रे पिया रे पिया का वादा कोई कर लिया मैं मरी जावा साथों की हो या बेकसूर रे सौ सौ तारों से भर के ये दामन ले चल मुझे कहीं दूर पिया ओ रे पिया पिया रे पिया रे पिया तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए बैठे बिठाए ये क्या हो गया बैठे बिठाए ये क्या हो गया दिल से जुदा हो गया जब तुझसे फासला हो गया तू मेरी दुआ हो गया मेहरमा दिल से जुदा हो गया जाने क्यों रब हमसे खफा हो गया तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए चन्न सौ गया ते तारे सौ गए साडे नैना नु नींद नहीं पैंदी शहर दिलों के सारे सौ गए साडे नैना नु नींद नहीं पैंदी मेहरमा साडे नैना नु नींद नहीं पैंदी हानियां साडे नैना नु नींद नहीं पैंदी तेरे पास रह कर भी तेरी खबर ना हुई तेरे चेहरे से वाकिफ मेरी नजर ना हुई तेरे पास रह कर भी तेरी खबर ना हुई तेरे चेहरे से वाकिफ मेरी नजर ना हुई जुदा तुझसे रास्ता हो गया तो सफर ही सजा हो गया जुदा तुझसे रास्ता हो गया तो सफर ही सजा हो गया मेहरमा दिल से जुदा हो गया जाने क्यों रब हमसे खफा हो गया तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना तेरे बिन जिया ना जाए मेहरमा दिल से जुदा हो गया जाने क्यों रब दिन में न सोए बैरी रातों को जागे जब से ये पागल नैना तेरे संग लागे दिन में न सोए बैरी रातों को जागे सजना दिन में न सोए बैरी रातों को जागे जब से ये पागल नैना तेरे संग लागे दिन में न सोए बैरी रातों को जागे सजना पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां ना भाए मुझे अब सखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां वे दिन में न सोए बैरी रातों को जागे जब से ये पागल नैना तेरे संग लागे दिन में न सोए बैरी रातों को जागे सजना पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां ना भाए मुझे अब सखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां ना भाए मुझे अब सखियां पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां जब से ये पागल नैना तेरे संग लागे दिन में न सोए बैरी रातों को जागे सजना पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां ना भाई मुझे अब सखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां करूं याद मैं तेरी बत्तियां पिया जाग रही मेरी अखियां कहीं दायरा बना है कहीं आखिरी सिरा है माई बोल बोल हारी कोई है जो सुन रहा है ये कोई जाने ना के दिल माने ना ये कोई जाने ना के दिल माने ना बिखर जाए ना कैसा है जुनून कहीं मिले ना सुकून देखो कहीं भी करार आए दीवाना है कौन जहाँ बेगाना है कौन देखो जिंदगी बेकार जाए कोई भीड़ में खड़ा है कोई खुद में चल रहा है माई बोल बोल हारी यहाँ जो है बेसिरा है ये सातों आसमां हम इनके दरमियां ये सातों आसमां हम इनके दरमियां बिछड़ जाए ना ऐसा है जुनून कहीं मिले न सुकून देखो कहीं भी करार आए दीवाना है कौन जहाँ बेगाना है कौन देखो जिंदगी बेकार जाए जिंदगी बेकार चलती जाए एक आंधी जो आंधी भी नहीं मंजिल से कलाई कुछ बांधी और बांधी भी नहीं जहाँ रास्ते ने जोड़ा वहीं फासले ने तोड़ा माई बोल बोल हारी यहाँ सब ने हाथ छोड़ा ये कोई जाने ना ये दिल माने ना ये कोई जाने ना ये दिल माने ना बिखर जाए ना ऐसा है जुनून कहीं मिले ना सुकून देखो कहीं भी करार आए नहीं बेकरार दीवाना है कौन जहाँ बेगाना है कौन देखो जिंदगी बेकार जाए जिंदगी बेकार जाए ऐसा है जुनून कहीं मिले ना सुकून देखो कहीं भी करार आए नहीं बेकरार दीवाना है कौन जहाँ बेगाना है कौन देखो जिंदगी बेकार जाए जिंदगी बेकार जाए ऐसा है जुनून कहीं मिले ना सुकून देखो कहीं भी करार आए नहीं बेकरार दीवाना है कौन जहाँ बेगाना है कौन देखो जिंदगी बेकार जाए जिंदगी बेकार जाए ना मेरी अखियां च हस दिया सजना मेरी अखियां च हस दिया सजना वे मेरे दिल विच वस दिया सजना ये मेरी जान मैं तेरे नाल ये मेरी जान तेरे नाल करके मर जा तेनू तकिया ते डुल गईयां अखियां अखियां सारी दुनिया में भुल गईयां अखियां अखियां तेनू तकिया ते डुल गईयां अखियां अखियां सारी दुनिया में भुल गईयां अखियां अखियां किया रे खुद इश्क खुदा ने 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 तेरियां बाहों च आके मैं तां चन्ना खो गई साहां दी महक मेरे सीने च समा गई भुल गया जग सारा इश्क च खो गई भुल गया जग सारा इश्क च खो गई एक जिद करे अंबरां च उड़ जाण नूं एक जिद करे इश्क च डुब जाण नूं ये मेरा दम ये किस कम ये मेरा दम किस कम तेरे बाजू में सनम असी कट्ठे जीना असी कट्ठे मरना मरना एक दूजे बिना साडा नहीं हो सरना सरना
I loved visiting cities, looking how people interact with spaces. So the opportunity to actually shape places and help those communities who live in those was something that I really felt I couldn't resist. If you think of something like the big city plan in Birmingham in 2010, we set a very clear strategy of how we felt Birmingham could grow. And then what we used was the council's land to form joint ventures with partners like Lend-Lease more recently on Birmingham Smithfield, Argent and Hermes delivering Paradise in the city. So again, it's forming those partnerships with a clear strategy and a clear delivery tool. And my own perspective, I was born in Birmingham, east of the city, So a real Brummie, and having the opportunity to shape your own city is, it's a unique opportunity and something I'm very proud of.
So I've been describing the next year, 10 years, as a golden decade for Birmingham. I do think that there is a real opportunity for us to transform the city, and I don't think the city will look anything like it currently does in 10 years' time. Even the UK government have had a conversation with us this morning about moving civil servants out of London into the city of Birmingham. So it does appear to be our time, and what we have to do is make the most of that opportunity.
We always start everything we do about people. We try and build communities, we try and think about it. It's always difficult because people are never quite comfortable with developers and what they're doing. That's where it remains. It is a world-class city. We have the right timeline, we have the right language, right? We are a very diverse population. People, the English are not racialists. I think it is great to see. We welcome everybody, right?
Firstly, there has to be a vision, a very clear vision of what you want. By all means, you can amend it and alter it as you go along, because you've got to be pragmatic, because the market is cyclical, so it moves. So it's about vision. There's a big piece then about creating certainty for people, so they know what they're doing, and they know what they can get planning permission for. They know, they don't have to take too much risk, and then it's about finance.
I think they're really, really important. I think we're seeing more and more women coming into business and technology. So we need to be able to meet with like-minded women to inspire us and to motivate us to keep going even when the going is tough.
How many of you have used your voice? And what I mean by that is talk about you and what you do.
Oh, Headz as a business is amazing. It meets you with so many businesses from different industries. All powerful women, all powerful businesses. We had some men as well this year, which was fantastic. It's good to see businesses putting business ideas together and working together for the better of the UK economy.
It was absolutely amazing. I'm so happy I came because the atmosphere was fabulous. So inspiring, so many stories, just brilliant.
And when you've done that, give it 2 eyes. Give your circle 2 eyes. Don't take it off. Don't cheat. I think it is a greatly needed. I think we should have more of these events. I think a lot of time we go to events, and I think women kind of have a lot of fear about being able to step forward and speak.
I get inspired by women at events like this. Women are out there doing it and getting there in what still feels like a very male-dominated world.
She's a woman. What does she know? What does she know about construction? But I challenged that. I faced all the strong points, and I thought to myself, hold on, I can tell you a lot about what I have learned. I have got knowledge, and I can tell you a bit more.
I would like you to attend this. I asked my company, and immediately they said, yes, go for it. And that's why I'm here, and I'm so glad because it's one of the best I've attended.
I am where I am now, and I'm telling a lot of the people who were the doubters before, I'm telling them what to do now. So that's it sounds terrible, but I really like that.
Fantastic, brilliant. Makeup Central, I started with them about 3 years ago, and they're absolutely fantastic. They're amazing women, and they're basically an agency. We offer hair and makeup all around Birmingham, so all across the city.
I'm not the one I used to be. Got someone else infusing me. Say, is this when I gave or I gave up? It's like I know what to say, but something's getting in.
So today I came to this event as one of the store holders, and I've been going around speaking to people about how we can make a difference and an impact on their life.
Well, basically I came really just to see other ones, see what it was all about, to get ideas to help me to grow as well, because we're forever learning, forever growing, and if we don't meet with other women, we don't connect, we don't know what and who we can all become to be.
When I was at school, maths and science weren't encouraged for girls, and likewise fashion and textiles wasn't encouraged for boys. And in the world we live in now, I'd like to think that is something that's been more open.
17% of people that work in tech are women, so there obviously is a problem, and it's really important to see people like you working in tech.
Definitely I can see an improvement like in the number of women like compared to 7 years ago, like now in the last couple of years.
When you think of success, and a question I want to ask you all is, how do you define your success? You know, don't always conform with the norm of what others think success should be.
And she does phenomenal work again in promoting the region, supporting the region, and also in the digital space as well, which obviously I'm very interested in as well.
It's the women. My brand is very much about empowering women and celebrating all women as opposed to the ones you see in media at the moment. And this event is a beautiful collaboration of all women, so it was great to meet loads of people and get my brand out here.
Zabe Collections specialise in made-to-measure designer wear. We design our own bridal, mehndi, casual outfits and saris. We are open 7 days a week and we are based in Sparkhill, Birmingham.
At BuzzTech Kingsheath we specialise in repairing laptops, consoles and mobile phones. We also buy, sell and exchange. For further inquiries call BuzzTech on 0121 441 1555.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of the Bulgarian Business Awards United Kingdom 2019.
Дами и господа, добре дошли на първите български бизнес награди в Англия.
Was Travel Vision.
Мариела Благо Консултанси.
Winner is Hipcar as well.
The judges and the public vote winner is Run Security.
K&I Kitchens Installations. MBI Home Care.
London Music Box.
Galina's Naturals.
Shindoju Karate Club London.
Anya Majarova. Decorations from Balloons.
Top Removals.
Great Finance.
that is Avalon Construction and Design.
The Bulgarian clinic, doctors for you.
Borneo Cafe and Bakery.
Победител на журито Пики Пики.
The Judges Award goes to Remix Hair and Beauty Salon.
Nice to meet you, George. Very nice to meet you, brother. This guy looks like a Bond villain or something. Very nice. This is your first date. Ah, yes, this is perfect.
Desi Tenikejeva.
I hope, I'm sure this award will have a big success and will grow, so the next year we could move somewhere else in a very huge Royal Albert Hall maybe.
Журито е Боболини.
Която училище Боян Мага, Лондон. Заповядайте да си получите.
So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming this evening. There's a lot of events that take place down in London and I don't really understand why there aren't more that happen here, to be honest. Considering that Birmingham is the second largest city in the country, I'm surprised that, especially for women, that there aren't more things happening here. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to put on this event today, was just to kind of like show support to the women here. Also just to get to know you more and to get to understand the challenges that you face, the issues that you have, and to see how I or any of the other speakers can help you, can support you, can encourage you.
Perhaps help you to think about your own journey and the tools that you've developed over the years. If I was going to raise my boys by myself, I would have to be brave, which on some days was really hard to do. Kids are a great motivator.
You're lonely, you love YouTube, why don't you kind of do something like that? Put your creative juices into that. I'd gone from being a head of department in a really disadvantaged busy school to being part-time. I ended up, no word of a lie, lying in a shower, in my clothes, sobbing. Why was I not good enough? I don't care what you think, and that's the only way that you can deal with it.
And it's really funny because this is probably the most real I've ever been about my career, right? Because I say journalist and broadcaster and it kind of slips off my tongue. But it has not been an easy road. The boss at the time was kind of management by fear. Me and another trainee there, basically on our last day, were like, we're leaving journalism, we're not doing this anymore. Because there was a lot of kind of, newsrooms are horrible places, or they were horrible places. I don't know how horrible they are now, but you know, chairs are being thrown across the room by producers who are getting angry. I know you all have incredible stories, and I'd like to hear those. And I think, you know, using our voice is the only way that we can punch through the negativity. I think that is just the fundamental thing in life.
So it's just knowing what comes easy to you. Once you figure that out, that's the lane that you need to stay in.
Here he is, the legend, Grado, eh?
Oh, I am absolutely bust, and I'll tell you why, because tonight I've fulfilled one of my dreams. One of the biggest honours wrestling in Stoke, especially here at the Victoria Hall. Daddy, Haystacks, and now the Grado has been here. And by the way, I won! I pinned them 1, 2, 3, the crowd were on their feet. I'm telling you, what a night this is in Stoke. And it doesn't stop there. The WS Tour rolls into Blackpool tomorrow. Next week we're in Northampton, London. We are on fire.
Well, I'll tell you what, even though I lost, the crowd were loud, they were noisy, they were hectic. They wanted to get in my face, but I tell you what, wrestling for WOS is the greatest honour anyone can have in this country.
Well, watching it, I've not wrestled on it just so yet, but watching it, it's been absolutely amazing. Watching the wrestlers, how good they are, the production is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone, all the kids, you know, I like to watch the kids when they're watching it, and they go absolutely mad, and that's what I love. That's what this job's about.
But it is a family night out. Tell us, who have we got? What's your name?
Erin, Joel.
Joel, right. How about you?
Ashley.
Ashley, right.
Soon on Sunday, I'm going to practice my blue belt.
Well, you make sure you do that, because one day I reckon you're going to be a mean lady wrestler. Lovely to meet you. Have you got a favourite in the WOS or wrestler? Is there a particular one you've come to see?
This one.
Oh, right, okay. Mr. Hendry, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not going to come too near this one, because he looks a bit mean with that mask on. I was taking it off, thank goodness. Not so frightening now. Okay. Hi, how was your name?
Mason.
Mason, that's a good name, isn't it? That's a big wrestling. There's a wrestler called Mason. You probably don't know him, though, do you?
No.
No. There was. You'd know him, wouldn't you? Oh, yeah.
Rampage has just been thrown back in the ring by Sean Samuels.
I just saw what a huge injustice.
As a wrestler being in the ring and having that energy, and the crowd was just from the start to finish, just on their feet, screaming, yelling, showing their appreciation. The turnout has been great, and all the feedback we've seen on social media has been great as well. We love seeing all the photos and the meet and greet snapshots and things, so yeah, it's been great.
It's great. Grado, the one and only. How you doing?
I'm dressed a wee bit smart today. I've got this underneath just in case a fight kicks off at the autograph table, so you never know when a fight might break out, you know.
Basically just kind of started wrestling training back in Ireland, and the Irish wrestling scene's really taken off the past sort of year or two, but back when I did Love Island there wasn't really an Irish wrestling scene, so I kind of thought I'll use the show as a platform to get my name out there, and it was a risk because I didn't really know what was going to happen, but it paid off well for me, and now here I am tonight ready to wrestle on the live WS tour. So it's been a crazy 2 years, but I'm very grateful for everything that's happened, and I just really appreciate everything.
So you're going to be very busy tonight, because I think all of them are here.
Yeah. I like Nathan Cruz as well.
Is this your first time at WOS wrestling?
Yes.
Have you been to see other wrestling as well, or not?
No.
This is the first time in the flesh, is it?
Yes.
You're all excited and that, yeah? Wow.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Get to sleep? Like, oh. Why do you like him? Because he's horrible and he's huge and mean.
Well, I do like his mask, and because no one can pick him up.
No, we came back to it through ITV. So as a child, I watched Big Daddy.
You look too young for that.
Saturday lunchtime, Grapple and Crunch Time, that was me. And then when it came back on ITV, got abs into it as well.
But when ITV relaunched World of Sport, or WOS as it is now, they wanted a British ring announcer. They rang me and said, look, we've seen you on the boxing, we like what you do. Do you enjoy wrestling? And I said, well, I grew up with World of Sport. I grew up with Big Daddy, with Giant Haystacks, Kendo Nagasaki, all those guys. So I saw it as a real honour to be asked, and I jumped at the chance. And to be honest, it's the best fun I've had in anything that I've done. It's absolutely wonderful.
Have you got the signature on the lanyard as well?
I got them all on here.
Oh, right. Because quite a few of the fans have been getting them on the lanyard as well.
But I
want to use my lanyard as my uni one.
All right, okay.
Absolutely. We've had World of Sport come back to the TV on ITV. Absolutely brilliant. We've got great wrestlers here tonight like Will Ospreay and Joe Hendry, Adam Maxted, all the guys here. We're travelling around the country. What a great time. Yeah, Adam Maxted, all guys. Grado, fantastic.
Are you a big fan, or are you looking at a mountain?
I'm a big fan in general in wrestling, but my son loves it. He's been watching it all, the series on the ITV. He's really loved it.
To see it back on TV, is that great to see it on like ITV?
It's nice to be fresh and to see it going in a good step again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good as well because it's not just your big company like Durrell. You've got all the last ones, egg patties. There's work all over for everyone now.
Getting photos with it.
Yeah.
So it's all very exciting. Hopefully more people want to meet me today.
Great. Good luck. See you later.
Ready to go. Bring in the fans. Come on. We're ready. We're ready.
2 coach loads out there have got your name written all on it, you know.
There might be the cops. We don't know.
Could be the family, eh?
Could be. You never know. Have fun, guys.
I don't think it would if he didn't keep involving CJ and Shah. If it was just Rampage and he's one of the best wrestlers in the country, maybe even in the world. So it's a challenge for me and it's a privilege to get to go up against him. But then when he involves those two, or they get themselves involved, I mean, I know I watched the footage back from last week, and after he'd hit me, he called them down himself. So he knows what he's doing.
That's the best for me, was the surprise of the energy that we got from the audience. Like, they didn't let up from the first bell to the last bell. They've been consistent throughout. They've had a great time. Again, like Val mentioned earlier, the feedback we've had on social media has been tremendous as well. So yeah, it's one of them things that I sometimes have to pinch myself, because it was always that thing that you sometimes dreamed about, like, wouldn't it be really good if WOS came back? Yeah. And now it's happening, and I'm part of it. It's surreal, and I'm absolutely enjoying it. I really am.
Keep watching these shows for more information on how you can sport the gear and represent Justin and WOS Wrestling.
Hi and welcome to another series of Ballsy Women. Have we got a super lineup for you today?
Yep, Time Lexi, we sure do. We'll hear from former Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel, looking at Middlesbrough initiative that reaches out to refugees using football as a universal language.
Plus, we'll take a look at the talented Kinsella family. Dad Mark played in the 2002 World Cup. His son Liam is also a pro footballer at Walsall Football Club. While sister Alice's brilliance will also be on the show, as she gained a gymnastics gold on the beam for Team GB 2 months ago. So sit tight and enjoy the ride,
because you're watching Ballsy Women.
We on the ball and we flip that quick, just me and the girls. Whoa! No, I'm not standing for no, I'm not standing for words. Yeah, I get back, no, it ain't your turn. You're not Emmeline Pankhurst, get that first. Now we don't need rings, I got money in the purse. Come holler at ice, and you put it in the verse. Yeah!
I be out here, I'm a ballsy woman. We winning.
A big welcome to another series of Ballsy Women.
Whoa!
What?
What's with the shirt? I thought you were an Arsenal supporter.
Tyne Lexi, I'm paying homage to arguably the team of the season. If not the team, then definitely Chris Wilder, manager of the decade.
What? Better than Pep at City, Poch at Spurs, Jurgen at Liverpool?
What about him? We're talking relative success, Tyne Lexi. Pound for pound, resources considered, Chris Wilder has not only masterminded 2 consecutive promotions for the Blades. Prior to that, he gained promotion for Oxford from Conference to League 2, then took Northampton from League 2 to League 1.
I hear you, Sabby. So we're making comparisons with legends. Cliff and Shanks, are we?
Well, Chris ain't quite there yet, but he's a manager who's flown well under the radar until now.
OK, so you've presented a sound case for Mr Wilder. We're definitely going to watch with interest as he seeks to take on the Premier League Big Six next season. OK, so let's meet our first guest. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Me too. Now, twins Phil and Tracy Neville will this summer be leading their respective England teams into the World Cups.
That's right. Phil, coach of the England Lionesses, and Tracy, coach of the England netball team.
Yep, so cue our very own talented sibling sportsman. Welcome, Liam Kinsella.
I be out here, I'm a ballsy woman. We winning.
So we have to give some credit to your dad, Mark. Obviously, he played in the 2002 World Cup with Roy Keane. What a football career he has had, playing for West Brom, playing for Aston Villa. Obviously, there are amazing clubs, and you must look up to him to kind of achieve that in the end.
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
End goal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the career you really want. You mean, you start off, play as many games as possible, and then work your way up, and that's what he did. And ended up playing for Aston Villa and West Brom in the Premier League. So it's something you look up to and you aspire to, and that's what you want to achieve as a footballer. Yeah.
And when obviously the World Cup was on in 2002 and you were about 6 years old, you probably don't remember that much from it, but does your dad ever go on about the memories of the good old days?
Yeah, I don't remember anything really, but he's got videos and DVDs all stacked up in the garage to watch, so he does like to show that every time to time.
So, Liam, your goal in the Sunderland FA Cup, I suppose you don't want to tell us a bit about that, or...?
Well, yeah, I've only scored 2 in my career, and obviously that was last year, and it won goal of the season again for us. It was about 30 yards out. Thought I'd hit it as hard as I could, and thankfully it went top corner.
What a place to get a goal at, though. The FA Cup at Sunderland must have been a fabulous moment for you to experience scoring there.
Yeah, it was, to be fair. Sunderland was probably the biggest stadium I played in at the moment, and to get it there and get the winner to get us through to the next round, you can't ask for a better feeling than that.
That's amazing. I bet your family were really proud of you.
Yeah, they were, to be fair. They were buzzing for me.
Yeah. What was your first initial feeling when you first went in?
Well, I don't score many goals, so I didn't really know what to do, so I just knee slided for about 20 yards and just went crazy in front of our fans, so it was a great feeling for me,
It must have felt so good.
Yeah, I need to score more to get that feeling.
Yeah, I bet your sister was really proud of you as well, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
she was buzzing. She gave me a text straight after the game.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
To say well done and all that, yeah, she was buzzing.
Would you say that you and your sister have kind of a similar sporting mentality together, or do you find that if you score a goal and she obviously wins a competition, obviously you're ecstatic, you're over the moon, but what happens when you don't score a goal and you lose a game or she loses a competition? Are you both sore losers, or does that make you stronger and come back even harder in your next games?
Yeah, we're both sore losers, to be fair. I'd say we're probably equal in that regards. When she has
a bit of a mood, a strap after the game.
Yeah, for about an hour you don't speak to me, and
Yeah.
same for her, you don't speak to her, just let her do her thing.
Yeah.
And it was in the Europeans, she fell off bars, which if she didn't fall off she probably would have medalled. And 2 days later she had to bounce back from that mistake, and then she won gold on the beam, so she's doing well.
So in that case, I guess it kind of knocked her a bit, and then she came back even stronger.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
it, which is, as a sportsman or sportswoman, that's kind of what you have to get used to doing. Obviously, there's always setbacks. You have to come back even stronger, and it's obviously building yourself up to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You got to just forget about the past, and then hopefully in the future just do what you can in the next game.
Yeah.
Same for me.
Yeah. Do you think you're both quite the same personality-wise?
Yeah, my mum and all that are saying that we're exactly
Yeah.
the same personalities, bounce off each other, yeah, so
Yeah.
I'd say we're exactly.
Do you feel like you clash because of that reason?
Nah, to be fair, we're alright, we're always bantering each other and all that, but I think we don't clash at all now.
That's
We're all good,
I
yeah.
suppose you're in both two different completely sorts of sport. Obviously, she does gymnastics, you do football. So it's not kind of like you're both doing football or you're both doing gymnastics, but I suppose there might be more of a clash if you were actually doing the same.
Yeah,
the same sort of sport. But obviously it's nice that you can both do your own different thing.
Yeah, when she's doing gymnastics, I don't know if it's right or wrong, so it just looks unreal when she's doing it on the beam, so...
I bet you watch it and think, how the hell does she do that?
I can't believe how on the beam, it's the scariest bit, 'cause it's about that wide and she's doing backflips and all that on it, it's crazy, but...
Yeah, I can imagine watching it. Obviously, the equipment that they have to use is so dangerous, isn't it? They can really hurt themselves. Do you ever feel nervous and scared in case she does hurt herself?
Yeah, obviously, because that's what when she's doing beam, and I can't watch it because obviously if she does hurt herself, and I wouldn't know what to do. So I'll make sure she's done it. I know what she's done, and I can watch it again. So I know she's done it.
So you actually have to look away as soon as it's happening.
Yeah, I can't watch the beam at all now. Wow. All the other pieces I can, but beam's the one I can't watch.
And does she get nervous when you go and play your football games for you, or does she kind of know that you're gonna do well?
I like to think she does get nervous, but she doesn't say. But yeah, I like to think she does, but.
I bet she does deep down. She's just keeping it a secret. It's that sibling love, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Yeah. Is she any good at playing football?
She's not the best now, but then it's the same as me. I can do a backflip or a front forward roll to save my life.
Have you ever tried? Has she ever tried to teach you to do like a cartwheel or a forward roll?
I'm alright at doing a cartwheel. I can do that. But Front flips, nah, I can't.
How about splits? Because don't you have to stretch after football matches? I always see footballers on the field with like kicking their leg up and it's nearly by their head.
Some footballers can do that, yeah, I think, but definitely not me. I can't.
Well, when
can't
you've got
do that.
a very flexible gymnastics sister, I think you need to start
Yeah.
practicing.
I might start doing a bit
There's
of
no
yoga.
excuse now.
Help me out, yeah. Might help me out.
Have you got ambitions towards playing in the top Premier League?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, ambition is always as a footballer to play as high as you possibly can, and Premier League would be where you feel like you'd made it playing in the Premier League. So I'd say Premier League's definitely where you want to end up and play your football, definitely.
And what do you think would be the next steps for you to kind of get there now?
Well, at Walsall, I'm trying to play as many games as possible and try and get recognised from other clubs.
Mhm.
Try and play well, and then hopefully maybe they might come in and take a chance on us and see what they say.
So, Lynn, we've spoken about all the successes that both you and your sister have had. Of course, that comes with this, there is always a flip side, and I know that comes down to Walsall currently being relegated to League 2. But I'm sure you can always find a positive in these sort of situations. What do you think the positive out of that could have been?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough season, and obviously finishing off a relegation on the last day wasn't nice. But we've got a new man in charge now called Darryl Clark. He's come in. I'm going to meet up with him this week or next week to speak about contracts and all that. And he's got a good record. He's got promoted with Bristol Rovers, so hopefully he can bring that into the club and bring all his fresh ideas, and hopefully that will happen to us and we can get back into League One.
Yeah, sounds exciting. It's like a new chapter in life now for you, do you think?
Yeah, exactly. He's a new manager. Hopefully he brings in fresh ideas that we can all adapt to, and bring in new players that can help us fit into the squad and bounce back and get into League One.
Yeah. We'll have more from Liam Kinsella talking to us about his award for work in the community.
Be sure to join us after the Brexit, because we've got
some...
What?
You just said coming up after the Brexit.
Oh, sorry, Freudian slip. Okay, coming up after the break, we've got former Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel plus George Savile as we take a look at Middlesbrough initiative that reaches out to refugees such as Jonas with life-changing consequences.
Back in a minute.
KTC Pure Butter Ghee is made from the finest quality butter. It's perfect for frying and cooking all types of foods, especially sweets and parathas. Oh, parathas and dal makhani. KTC Pure Butter Ghee.
He'll never know, he won't understand.
Are we ready to order?
Yes, I think we both want the same, don't we, Diane? Yes, we'll both have the full English Brexit, please.
And how would you like that? Hard, soft?
Oh, hard for me.
Right.
Oh, now what does that come with?
That comes with a generous portion of left-wing hysteria, some ludicrous predictions of total UK financial collapse, and a liberal helping of media bias, all garnished with lashings of personal smears about being the next Hitler.
Yes, that's fine, thanks.
And for you, madam?
Oh, soft for me, please.
Oh, come on. And what would you like with that?
Oh, I'll just have a portion of free movement and access to the single market.
Oh, I assure if either of those things are on the menu anymore, madam. I mean, I can check with the chef for you if you like, but I wouldn't hold your breath because he's got a Union Jack tea towel.
Look, never mind. I'll just have the continental breakfast. What? Look, I don't think I've got the appetite for this.
I'm afraid we ain't got any croissants.
Oh, come on, Diane. Where's your backbone?
But I could get you something lighter.
Such as?
How about a Scotch egg?
No.
Porridge?
Look, just leave the bloody Scots out of this, will you?
Mother.
I'm sorry, but they just me off as well.
Mother.
Tail wagging the dog. Look, I'll just have some toast, please.
Brown or white? White. Right. Oh, now the hard Brexit, madam. We're getting a little behind on orders at the moment thanks to a few court cases, a couple of whinging billionaires, crybaby liberals and some unelected arses in the Lords, but that should be with you in about 2 years if that's okay.
2 years?
Or we have the transitional menu.
What the hell is that?
That's where we prepare the order immediately just to keep you quiet, but we don't actually bring it in for a couple of decades.
We'll be dead by then.
Exactly.
We're leaving.
Well, even if you leave, you've still got to pay. Hey! Think about my pension. Brummies. Foreigners.
Hi, Sabi. I think I owe you an apology.
Why's that?
You were right. We returned after the Brexit sketch.
Well, never be too quick to condemn Tyne, Lexi. 'Tis the moral of the story.
Well, that's enough Brexit talk for a lifetime. Anyway, we're delighted to still have Liam Kinsella in the studio with us. So you've recently been awarded the Community Player of the Year award, which obviously is an absolutely amazing achievement. What did that entail? How did you manage to achieve that?
I mean, we all go on trips like all the players to go visit schools, visit young kids and playing football. But obviously I did the most trips and I visited lots of schools. We did hospital visits during Christmas time to visit the sick. But I mean, there's a lot of visits you got to go to, and I did quite a few to help back to the community and give back to the community.
I think you previously mentioned that your mum does a similar sort of thing, which is how the original idea came about of you wanting to get involved in the community and obviously give back something for obviously all the fans that come to your football games.
Yeah, exactly. My mum works with disabilities, and it's always nice to give back to the community. And when I was a kid, it was always nice when, say, a footballer came in or someone famous came in to talk about football or join in and play football. It's always nice to see that. So I like to try and give back to the community as I can when I'm a footballer.
Yeah, and obviously winning football games must be a great feeling, but obviously being awarded a Community Player Award is something that is not many football players manage to achieve, so that must be something that your family must be hugely proud of.
Yeah, exactly. It's always nice to win games, but to win individual awards is always that little bit sweeter, and it's really nice to win the award, and yeah, I'm really glad I did.
And is this something that you want to continue doing? Do you want to go out into more places and give more speeches and obviously offer help wherever you can?
Yeah, exactly. As long as I'm still in the game, I always want to give back to the community and visit schools, hospitals and all that, and hopefully I can continue doing that next season and see what happens then.
Sure, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must be super proud of yourself because that is a really big achievement, because me personally, I didn't even know that there was a Community Player Award, so for you to achieve that, I think that is brilliant.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't realise at the end of the season when you get the award that there is one, but it's always nice to be recognised for the stuff you do, but you don't really do it for all that, you just do it to give back to the community. And
obviously footballers do get a lot of bad press, don't they? So obviously something that you've shown that you've gone out of your way, obviously, in your spare time, besides all the training that you have to do as a footballer, you've actually gone out into your community and offered your services to people that obviously do appreciate you and they look up to you in a way. So obviously I think that's really nice for the football community to be able to offer those things to you, just to say thank you, because they do receive bad press. And obviously behind the scenes, I bet there are quite a few footballers that also do the same thing that you do as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of footballers at the club that go into schools and do all the community work, and it isn't just me, but yeah, like you say, we do get a little bit of bad press, but it's nice to be recognised for all the good stuff that we do, and receiving the award was really good.
So likewise with Walsall FC, there is other football clubs that do community work as well, one of them being Middlesbrough FC, who have an initiative called Club Together, so we're going to take a little look at that.
My name is Jonas. Originally I'm from Eritrea, and I came here in 2015. I left my country because of political issue, and then I need to be safe and free, which I couldn't get it in some African countries.
Football's fantastic because it just brings everyone together. Everyone knows how big it is in the world. For these guys, obviously there'll be a language barrier today speaking to them. To be able to just have a kick about with them and play with them and just see the smiles on their faces is fantastic for us.
When the session of Middlesbrough Football Club Foundation started, it really helped us to integrate with this community and to know many people from different places, different culture. So it was good to integrate with this community.
This is always amazing when you do things like this for the community. it helps to bring awareness, not just awareness, but just to touch people's lives as well, touch this guy's life, and whichever way you can make them feel better, it's always amazing to do that. And I think for this football club, we always want to do things like this to help the community and to help guys like this. So I think for me, I'm very honored. I'm very happy to be part of this today.
If you can make people happy is always good. Money can't buy that. So if they're happy, I'm happy. So I would just do anything if people are happy to help them. Yeah.
On behalf of a lot of people here, saying obviously how privileged we are to be in the position we're in. We're very blessed. So just to give them a little insight is the least we can do, really.
If you see what they've been through, if you see how they managed to get here, then we shouldn't complain at all.
I feel like Middlesbrough is my hometown. I'm happy. I know what's going on here. I know many people. I know what exactly to do. So it's easy life for me here. And the most important thing is I'm happy because I am safe, number one, and I'm free.
Like I spoke with the manager, and he said some of them already after a year they found the colleges jobs, so it was really nice because my family was the same. They had some 2-3 years. They needed the time for finding jobs in Germany and stuff like this. So I know how hard it is, and I'm really happy for them that they found so quickly somebody who can help them.
See most of them smiling today and running around and trying to kick the ball. It was amazing, and just to see them smile, put a smile on their faces, and even if it's 1 minute or just to get them to, to forget about what is happening back home, what happened back home where they come from, to be able to run around with a smile and kick. A lot of them were Chelsea fans. Obviously, they knew me from my time at Chelsea, and you could see the joy that it brought to their faces. And I was so touched. I was so happy to see that I could manage to put a smile to them.
I was playing with many people, with English people and from different countries. But as I told you, we cannot speak the language, but we were speaking through football. So people, and you are trying to integrate with different people.
Yeah, football is always important. I think wherever you are, same for me as well. In Nigeria, growing up in Nigeria, when there was a little bit of tension, I think football always settles the nerve and brings people together.
Football knows no language.
Football seems to be doing better than politics at the moment. What's your opinion on what Middlesbrough are doing and towards what we've seen of Jonas and the refugees?
Yeah, it's lovely to see bringing in a refugee and making them feel so welcome. I think a lot of clubs are doing stuff like that, but Middlesbrough have been recognised, and I think it's a really nice thing that they're doing, and yeah.
So thank you very much, Liam, for coming along today. We've had a really good chat with you.
Yeah.
And all the best for you and your sister in the rest of your training and your performances.
Well, that's it for this week. Be sure to join us at the earlier time of 4:30 p.m. next Sunday as we avoid clashing with the World Cup in France. Okay, we'll leave you with another reminder of the considerable talents of the Kinsella family. Thanks for watching and see you next week.